Should you test statics and videos in a separate campaign? I've noticed that a lot of my videos get spent, but my statics don't. The short answer is no. The reason why your statics aren't getting spent is because they're not that good. And I know that's like not very nice to say, but it is the truth. And the reason why I know this is because I've made a lot of statics that kind of suck. And Meta confirmed that by not spending on them. And then when I learned how to make better statics, all of a sudden I started seeing that sometimes statics were the top performing ads in our account. And even for one of our brands, at one point this year, we were spending, I think, $15K a day in their account. And the static that we launched sucked up all the spend and beat all of the videos. Because the thing about statics that not a lot of people understand is that they are very simple to create, but they're not actually easy. And so what I mean by that is creating an image ad is pretty simple. You get an image, you put some text on it, and it's done. But to actually make it good is actually hard, because what you're actually forcing yourself to do is basically grab someone's attention with 2 to 3 lines of text versus a minute-long video where you can just explain a bunch of things, right? And show a bunch of different visuals. So for you to actually be able to make static ads that are really good, you've got to be really good at copywriting. And so to give you guys a tip for anybody that's made it this long in the video, my favorite thing to do with static ads is actually use juxtaposition. So what that means is putting 2 things that don't go together. And I, have basically seen people in the space scale extremely hard just by, again, telling a story with their statics. And so for example, if I have an ad that says, the all natural deodorant that performs like a toxic one, right? That would be the headline on the static. All of a sudden that copy, again, it reads what it reads, but it communicates a lot more, right? What does it communicate? Well, it communicates that it's a highly effective deodorant, all natural deodorant, right? Because most toxic deodorants are effective, but why don't people use them? Well, they're toxic. And so by saying this is an all natural deodorant that performs just as good as a toxic one, that's a juxtaposition, because all natural and toxic don't go together. They're opposites, but we found a way to string them together. And then as a result of that, we are now basically communicating through the lines to the customer that this is a great deodorant without saying that it's a great deodorant. We're just saying, hey, this performs like this, right? And all of a sudden now people get it. And now there's a story that's kind of being told, and it kind of creates some curiosity, right? Open loops, right? How does this perform like a toxic one? Let me click and learn more. And then again, you send them to your listicle, your product page, whatever it is that you want to do, and you can convert at scale. A lot of you would write a headline that says, the best all natural deodorant. It's like, sure it is, buddy. But when I say, the all natural deodorant that performs like a toxic one, I'm not saying it's the best, but you can make the assumption that it is by me comparing it the way that I did and using, again, juxtaposition. So hope that makes sense. And again, I would highly recommend that for those of you that are getting dominated by your videos, it's not the fact that, videos are better than statics. It's just that your statics are probably not that good. At the end of the day, if you want to test statics and videos in a separate campaign, be my guest. I really don't care, because at the end of the day, again, media buying doesn't matter that much. But for us, we test everything in the same campaign. All right, the final question we have here is, I feel like this was setting me up.